Hi, and welcome back to Beginner for B Series. We're going to be attaching the front end snowblower today as we have snow coming. They say in a couple days, plowable snow. So today's video, I hope to do just a step-by-step how to put the subframe on, attach all the drive lines, attach to the front end snowblower. Then we'll go out, take the B2650 out, and we'll just test that everything's working properly out in the safety of being outdoors and not in the garage, just in case something happens. Stick around. Okay, let's get our gloves on. We'll go over what I'm going to grease up here. I've got my grease. I've got my lock and lube. If you don't have one of these are awesome. They just go on the Zerk, clip on, you squirt your grease in, quickly take them off. There's no fumbling around. So on the PTO shaft, I've got one here, up towards the top. I'll throw a little bit in there. Locked on, just a couple squirts. I can see it went in there. Another one on this elbow. Two squirts ought to do it. The other end on this elbow. You can position those so they can be easy to access. Squirts. That PTO shaft is now done. This is the part that connects to your rotating drive line. That's the part that connects from your subframe up to the snowblower. So I'm going to hit that a little bit. Perfect. So at this point, we're going to now attach the subframe to the tractor. I have purposely turned the wheels this way because when you do go to put this subframe on, you'll find that you can't get this bar here in with the wheels straight. So we need to take this out with the wheels turned to the left. And that'll give us the room to put it in. Alright, so let's slide the subframe. It's very heavy. Not as close to the frame of the tractor. This is the mounting frame. All I'm going to do is lift up. Try to get that right on the top there. Perfect. Put in your cotter pin. You're going to turn this lever right here so we get nice and tight. Okay, it does not seem like it's going to go anywhere. Okay. This is something you'll want to just keep checking the tightness as you're blowing each time. I've seen some people that'll actually take wire, wrap it around here, and pin it through just so it holds it tight. From here, just want to make sure that your lever here is in the back position facing towards the tractor. This is eventually what will lock into the frame of the snowblower. We'll put these on first, then start the tractor up, and then we will go and attach to the snowblower. Once this is on and secure, we're going to want to attach the two hydraulic hoses. That'll allow this thing to move up and down. They are color coded. Hopefully when you get your tractor, your dealer put on some color codes so you know which inlets to plug them into. So let's go do that now. Okay, so I've taken those two lines. You can see them, it's kind of hard, black on black. I've fed them through these rings here to help hold them in place. There's two of them. Okay, and now we're going to take these ends. This one happens to be a yellow. This one happens to be a green. So the green's going to go up here. My dealer has marked the color codes here. Depending on what your dealer did or tractor did, it looks like, you know, on my white coupler for my loader, they marked that green, and the yellow is marked with yellow. So it's sitting right there. So we're going to hook those two up now. All hooked up. So hopefully when I go in and I use the loader joystick, pulling that thing back will raise it up, pushing it forward will lower it down. And that's what those two connections did there. But clearly not all the way. So what I need to do now is I'm just going to hand push this on a little bit, and then I'll start the tractor back up. We'll lift it up all the way just so I know it's seated, and then we'll lock it in, lock the pin in. So I got a long ways to go to get it in there, but I think I'm far enough now that I can lift this up with the tractor, and then maybe even push it on by hand a little bit more. Okay, so I believe we are on as far as we're going to go. If you can see it, that did lock around. I was actually on, I think, good enough, but just wanted to make sure. This pin will go in, and now we're locked in. So this is now completely attached to the subframe. Okay, so the easiest thing here is to put this end without the coupler on. Try to figure out where it'll slide on. Okay, so that's all the way in. Now, and we're going to slide this one on. Okay, so there's plenty of clearance. See, I can Hopefully you guys can see that. So there's clearance there, so we're just gonna pull this thing back towards that drive unit, and we'll pull that ring. Just get a better angle for you. Pull it, slide it on until it snaps back. Sorry for the camera work here. All right, there's the ring. You heard that click. That is in there. It's not going anywhere. We're going to put this end into there, and then we will pull it back and snap onto that. So now that we're here, we're going to attach that drive line into there. This is, I don't know if you can see it, it's actually a rectangular piece, very close to a square, but it is rectangular. So you want to make sure you match up the two pieces correctly, because that is rectangular as well. So that's going to be my first challenge. You're going to want to be inside the subframe when you do this, because there's no way to get it in there correctly if you do it from the outside, which would be a lot easier. So there we go. Okay, once you've got that piece attached, you have to line up the splines. If you're lucky and you get it right on, great. But if not, turn this knuckle a little bit so you can get it to where it's on. I'm trying not to get my hands in the way so you guys can see what's going on here. Okay, get that knuckle lined up. Once you kind of get it set on there, pull this ring back, slide it slightly forward, just make sure you're locked in. There we go. Okay, now that the drive is all connected and hooked in, the subframe is hooked in, now we've just got to take these hydraulic lines, which for me is 2 of them, marked in a red and a blue, and then this one is my electrical diverter for when I want to use the chute rotation. So I'm going to take these lines. This gets a little bit difficult here, but they've got to go through these rings because you start running out of space. Up in here, this little piece right there is where I'm going to plug in that electrical diverter. Okay, and that's a switch that's in my cab right on my joystick that I can flip to change whether I want the chute to rotate left or right, or if I want the deflector to go up and down. So we'll get those wires lined in, we'll hook them into the hydraulic lines, and then we'll be taking this thing outside just to try to run it, make sure everything's going good. Okay, I've got the hydraulic lines through the, I don't know what you'd call these, some spring holders. So they're all wrapped in. That actually takes a little bit of work. We're going to now connect my diverter. Okay, there's a little snap there. That's what I was hoping for. Tuck this up in here so it's up and out of the way. I'm going to now get the red popped in here. So that one's the second for the bottom for me. It actually lines up with the loader color. little bit tight in here. Okay, that one's in. Put the plugs together. Now we just have the blue, which lines up with the loader color as well. Okay, that should do it for the hookup. Let's take it outside and make sure everything's actually running. Okay, so got everything attached. I just want to come outside and test everything outdoors just so I don't screw anything up. But I wanted to show you my setup here for how I operate everything. So the joystick, if you can see, I'll try to have two videos going here. If I push forward, it lowers it. If I pull back, it raises just like it does your loader. Going from side to side, if I go to the left, that should rotate the chute. Okay, it's all the way to the left. Let's try to rotate it to the right. And you have to, on this, at least with mine, just doing over is not going to do it. You've actually got to push it all the way over. You'll feel like a little bump in the joystick, and it moves pretty quick. It doesn't seem to need to do that when you move to the right, but to the left, it's not going to move unless I throw it all the way over. Again, not exactly sure why, but that's the way it is. Okay, so now try to rotate that. If I hit this little toggle switch here, all right, and then I go from left to right, when I move it to the left, it'll open. Or I should say, yeah, I would say open the deflector. If I go to the right, it'll lower it. Okay, so left opens, right shuts it down, so you can angle the way you're throwing the snow. Then flip the toggle back, and we're back to rotating. Okay, I'm going to bring this down, rotate it over. To engage the PTO, I'm going to bring this up to about 1500. Okay. Make sure that we are in our mid PTO selector. Okay, and then to engage, it's throw it down. Now hopefully that's working. I did see a little shift. I do have the other camera on, so we'll check it out. For operating, I usually bring this up to about, depending on what you're throwing, but I'll bring it up to about 2300 RPM. That will satisfy most anything that I need to throw anyway. Then I lower it all the way back down to an idle before I disengage. Okay, so hopefully this video will help you as well. I actually do this stuff for me just so I can remember from year to year, and then the input I get from everybody on what they've done when they've reached out to me, helped me out. I really appreciate it. So thanks for sticking around. If you like these videos, if you hit the subscribe button, I hope to keep doing more. We'll see you on the next one.